So I started off by, because this is what you do. When you want to learn something new, you find who's the best in the world at it. You go to them, you obsess, and you just absorb everything they have and, go, talk to journalists. And so I talked to a lot of journalists who have been very critical of the cocoa industry and then ones who are very positive about it. You talk to experts in different fields. You talk to people that work in different chocolate companies. You talk to every charity in it. You just go and absorb all this knowledge. I did. And Tony Chocolonely, which is like, the largest ethically sourced chocolate company in Europe. They're phenomenal. They had all the answers, and they've been living and breathing this the past 15 years. So at the start, a lot of what we're doing is just doing what they're doing. And we formed a joint company with them where Feastables is sourcing their cocoa beans through Tony's supply
so you
chain.
have like a joint sourcing company.
Yeah. They call it Tony's Open Chain, that we source not all of our Feastables beans, but majority through.
Oh,
and then we're also, because the thing is, to stand up a program like they have takes a very, very long time. Because you got to hire people on the ground. You have to hire farm inspectors to go and audit the farms and seal RMRS and all this other stuff. So we're building, but it just takes time. So we're sourcing majority of our beans through Tony's Open Chain supply chain, and then a small amount we're doing on our own and setting up our own ethical supply chain. But at its core, you got to pay the farmers more. But how do you decide what's enough? Like, what's enough where they can hire someone who's not 18, or sorry, over 18, not under 18. And so that's where they have this living income reference price, where they look at like the cost of bread and all the things you need to live in West Africa. And they come up with, per a metric ton or like a shipping container of cocoa beans, a farmer needs to make blank based off of inflation, food, and all these other things. And if they make under blank, it's not reasonable for them to be able to live and blah, blah. So that's called a living income reference price. And so with 100% of our farmers in Feastables, we guarantee them a living income reference price. So if you're a farmer in West Africa and you go, you harvest your entire farm, and you're like, here's a shipping container of cocoa, I'm going to make up a number. I want $1,000. We'll go, hey, you want $1,200. And pay you $1,200 because we don't want you using child labor, and this is what you need.
Because it's impossible at $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to do
to make a living income. So we'll actually pay more if we need to, if they make under the living income reference price. So that at its core, 100% of Feastables is fair trade certified, which is blah, blah, blah. Google it if you want to know what that is. We'll be here a long time if I go in depth. And then on top of fair trade certification, 100% of our farmers, we pay a living income reference price. So they actually make enough money in exchange for these things and a lot of other stuff on top. Because to address poverty, you don't just pay them more money, but you also help them increase their yield. So we have coaches that help these farmers increase yield, because if you can help them get 10% more cocoa per hectare of trees, then that's 10% more money as well.